There was an organization called the Committee on Man and Radiation. Essentially, the Committee on Man and Radiation intellectually framed this as a controversy that there was no such thing as a non-thermal effect, that thermal effects were the only good science, and they had good science on their side, and anyone who said otherwise was either a crank or needed to be dismissed from the area altogether.
One website in Central California has posted more than 300 letters received from those suffering functional impairments since having their meter, quote, upgraded. The one thing all these people had in common? Their utility did not tell them the dangers associated with the new meter.
Our concern is that smart meters add to this multiple source exposure to radio frequency radiation. Radio frequency radiation that we know causes a variety of biological effects, and where we have very strong evidence that it causes disease, specifically brain cancer and other diseases.
There have now been more than 6,000 published scientific studies on the health effects of microwave radiation since the 1930s, and with the vast majority showing that there is some biological damage being done, the jury's no longer out on whether this is harmful. Even by 1972, we have the U.S. Navy producing an unclassified report of health effects on the human body observed from microwave radiation, summarizing more than 2,300 studies.
5 pages of observed human health effects in this report include headaches and insomnia.
I was walking by and I got like a flash headache. It's painful.
How many times did that happen?
Every time I walked by it, which was a bunch of times.
Vagomometic or irregular action of the heart.
They were installed in my house, and shortly after that, I started experiencing pretty significant heart palpitations.
Anxiety.
I was nervous a lot and I couldn't sleep.
Chest pains.
I started getting this intense chest pain.
And changes in the operation of implanted cardiac pacemakers.
Well, my heart would speed up to do about 170 beats a minute, and I could normally control any arrhythmia that I would have before just by meditation and relaxing. And the smart meter, I couldn't bring it down.
And you found that when you were in that electromagnetic field, your heart was going to high rates of arrhythmia.
Yes, and it wouldn't happen all the time. It happened the first time was 8 months after the meter was installed.
Yep.
And then the second time it occurred was 6 months after that. And then it went 4 months after that. And then went 2 months after that.
So you became more and more sensitive.
More sensitive as the time went by.
And you found that when you were able to remove the meter, that you did recover.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Another serious health complaint about these devices is what's known as dirty electricity, caused by the converter between DC and AC current. It appears that utilities do not wish this aspect of the health issue to become widely known.
I can't tell you how many people have called me who became dreadfully ill the minute one of those got put on their house. Dirty electricity is, the best synonym is electrical pollution. We understand air pollution. There's clean air, there's polluted air. There's clean electricity, there's polluted electricity. Dirty electricity is the major pollutant that comes into your house on your wires, riding piggyback on the 60 cycle. The real evil about the smart meters is everybody gets one, the whole neighborhood. I mean, every house in a development, every apartment in a building has got one of these things. Each one's got a switching power supply in it, and they're all big generators of dirty electricity, and I'm certain it's the device that changes the AC to DC.
After having 12 upgraded meters installed on her bedroom wall, Rosa Perrick began experiencing headaches and insomnia.
I lived through Nazis, communist soldiers, Cossacks. Nobody damaged my health as much as smart meters did. This is supposed to be my golden years. Instead, these are my bloody years. You did not give me all option when you came and installed, you did not give me option. I didn't have no option. You came after me. You deceived me. I have something to show you. This is I have no control when I'm going to bleed, when my nose is going to bleed. This is the blood from my nose. I cannot even sleep on my own bed anymore. I have to close the door to the bedroom and sleep on chairs in the living room or put the mattress down, sleeping bag on the floor.
Do you ever have nosebleeds away from your apartment?
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming.
Your time is up.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
I made a call to a government agency. I started to talk about the problems with the meters, and he was getting agitated, and he said, they're just like cell phones. There's nothing wrong with these meters. They're just like cell phones. And I said, no, it's not true. There's a problem with these meters in the switch mode power supply. And he said to me, how do you know about switch mode power supply? And I said to him, what is your name? And he hung up on me. And then about 10 minutes later, he called me back on a different phone, and he told me there is a problem with the switch mode power supply. He knows about this, but he can't talk. And I think that a lot of people are scared to talk, and a lot of people know what's going on here. Electricians know, people at Con Edison know, but I don't think they know what to do. I would say that it's better to do the right thing, because when people are silent, a lot of people can die.
All right, we're getting on the plane to go to Salt Spring for the day. Looking forward to it after a comedy of errors this morning. And here we are. Beautiful day. Away from the city, we wanted to track what was happening with this agenda in a small community called Salt Spring Island, where we were hearing around 30% of the population had locked up their analog meters or otherwise made it clear in writing to their utility that they were choosing not to have a meter installed. I personally was glad to get on a plane, hoping to clear my head with a visit to one of the quieter parts in the world, while still getting to the bottom of the story there.
We know that you have refused a smart meter.
Okay.
The meter that will be installed onto your premises here will not be functioning as a smart meter because there are no receivers established. You get what everyone is calling a smart meter, none of which are smart meters yet. Because
you will guarantee me that we will not have it functioning as a smart meter.
Because you're opt-out.
Because we're opt-out.
Yes, I guarantee.
You will guarantee me that.
And if you want, I will get BC Hydro, I will get Gary to write you a letter to that extent, and he'll send it registered mail.
So, Chris, are they going to be running this as a smart meter or just as a regular meter?
They're going to be running this as a regular digital meter, such as has been put on houses since 2008.
So Chris has the meter on now, and he's going to test the meter.
Yeah. Okay, they're lying, folks. This is emitting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they're lying.
Getting a reading on your...
Sorry. Yeah, okay, that's over 20,000 microwatts, and the hydro has officially lied, publicly lied in front of all these people, lied to the owners of this house, to the effect that this would not be emitting radio frequency radiation. It's emitting radio frequency radiation in spades.
I feel like
they have lied. Yeah, you have lied. You son of a bitch. You have lied.
That
you
is
and your buddy.
really bad. I'm so upset.
Yeah.
I'm so upset. You've lied to us. You've lied to us. You said that there's not going to be any radiation coming off that. So you're lying to us.
I have no idea of the testing mechanism of this. I have no idea who you are.
You know, how do you think I feel right now? I trusted you, and that's how I honestly feel. I feel like I've been raped.
With this smart meter program, we're stepping across the line from democracy to corporatocracy, and that's scary. The person who invented the word corporatism was Benito Mussolini. It's also known as fascism, and everybody uses that term a little too loosely, but in this case it applies very, very succinctly. If you don't have the right to a healthy environment, you have basically lost all rights. People who haven't the faintest idea that they had a smart meter installed are getting very sick all of a sudden and wondering why. And suddenly it comes to them that, oh, something's different about my electricity meter.
So here's UPA installers crossing over locked fences and against consent.
On January 23rd, with premeditated malice and forethought, our city manager, in collusion with our city's administrative police chief, ordered an all-out assault on many of the citizens' personal property by cutting locks, illegally trespassing, threatening tax-paying citizens, mostly women and elderly, and actually arrested 2 of our stay-at-home moms on trumped-up charges for refusing installation of smart meters.
Get off my property right now. No! No!
When the full force of the city's police department is turned on its own people, it's time for a radical and immediate change.
Now, I just spoke with Naperville City Manager a few minutes ago, who says the city is within its legal rights to enter private property and install those smart meters, the meters they say are their property. He also says that the meters are safe. He also says the women deserve to be arrested if they violated the law. But exactly what those misdemeanor charges are, we still don't exactly know.
You need to remove her meter right now.
At the end of the day, that means you didn't give me a choice.
You need to remove her meter right now.
Go get it. Yeah.
Yes, you can. You're going to have to.
Go get it. You lied to me. You lied to me and said it had to be done. What do the new ones look like so I can make sure?
People don't want these things on their homes. You need to remove these people's meters. They emit like high-frequency electromagnetic radiation. It's been linked with cancer, DNA breakages, breaches in the blood-brain barrier, like all with peer-reviewed studies. I mean, this stuff is real. If you're gonna run into me, I'm gonna charge you with assault.
You need to move.
I'm gonna charge you with assault if you run into me.
Move.
I want my meters put back.
My thing's the privacy, in case you care.
Oh yeah, you care about privacy, you're filming me.
That's right, because you're on my property, dude. You understand that, right?
On your deed, though, I mean, there's an easement for...
I understand everything. I understand all the legalities of it completely. Nothing against you personally, you understand that, right? I know it's your job, but there's lots of other jobs.
1, 2, 3, 4, BC Hydro at our door. 5, 6, 7, 8, speak or it will be too late.
When there's a fight between technology and people now, the technology takes overhand. The technology has to survive. We have to come back to a point where technology serves humanity. And if it doesn't, it shouldn't be there. Thank you.
Yeah! Yeah!
We're here as the citizens of BC to say we don't want these dangerous, unhealthy, expensive, unnecessary machines plugged into our homes and where we live.
And now they're trying to put this on every single person's house with no choice. Is that fair? No!
No! They put the smart meter in without informing us or asking as if we wanted it. So we just told them to get the smart meter out and put the old meter back or we wouldn't pay.
What's important for people to realize here is that you're in a contract with a utility company. As soon as they change the terms of that contract, they have to get consent. That's so important. You have to agree to those new terms or the contract is void. We wrote them a letter immediately, formal letter stating that we do not consent to the meter installation, we do not consent to the new terms. In our view, that voids the contract. They did threaten to terminate the power. They did threaten to disconnect. They've sent 2 notices in the last year and a couple of months that they would terminate or disconnect the power if somebody in this house would not pay the bill. And we sent them a letter back that we're not paying the bill and they haven't disconnected the power.
What about if thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people all did this?
Oh, it would collapse in a day.